Hey you, welcome to HORTENSE's Kitchen. This is a program where we teach young people how to cook delicious and nutritious meals like chicken and rice and fish and all kinds of meals. You know, something that you can put together when you want to invite your friends over. Or if you have some special person that you want to impress, you can invite them over for dinner. And you'll be learning valuable skills that you can use later on for your own family. So today we're cooking a whole chicken. I find it tastes a lot better than the parts. We're going to start from scratch. I have 2 onions. These are called onions. I don't have more pepper. I just have this half, but it will suffice for the time being. And I have some garlic. I am going to use a little bit of powder also, but these are natural seasoning that you could use. Let's say I was going to do this later on or tomorrow. I can leave this overnight to marinate. But today we're going to use what I like to call a little bit of a Jamaican type of spice, season up. It works for fish, it works for chicken, and most kind of meat that you'll be seasoning. Now the reason I call this program Miss Hortense's Kitchen, I grew up in a family with a lot of boys. She would always say, you guys need to learn to do everything. Because these 21st century women that you're going to be running into, this press a button age, that's long before there was microwave. Back in those days, you had to have a fire going from scratch. Don't let the press button and warm up stuff. You want to warm up some tea, you got to get it on the fire. We had to learn to cook and clean and do everything like girls and every other domestic chore. So I want to share my knowledge with you guys. I find that a lot of young people don't know how to cook. Beautiful girls, and I have no clue. You could impress a young man so much if you could invite him over for dinner, as opposed to going to spend your money at Burger King or some other place. You'll spend maybe $12 on chicken and some rice, and that can give you a meal for 2-3 days, as opposed to one meal for $12-13, and then you're hungry again. So we're all about cleanliness. So you wash your hands first. I already did, but just to show you. This chicken I had thawing out in some warm water. It came out of the freezer. If you look on the top of this chicken, you notice some little bits of hair sticking out, hair follicles. You don't want that in your food, so you want to get rid of it. So you're just going to do it like that. You don't want to serve that to your guests, right? This is actually the end of the feather. I pour some vinegar in the water, and since I'm not going to take the skin off, I'm washing the skin with the vinegar. You're not going to put too much vinegar in the water. You don't know how much water in the size of the chicken, about 3 or 4 cups full. You want to make sure you get all the areas clean if you're going to put this in your belly. Then we're going to pour this all out. One of the easiest ways that you can get the skin off the garlic, because you want to remove this part. So just put your knife on it like that. Give it a slap. And look how easy it is to come off. Careful with your fingers now, keeping them back away from the knife. I'm trying to make these as even as possible so they'll pretty much melt out in the food. Then this is the way I'm going to get to the onions. I'm just going to cut right across here. You get the trash part of the onion now. You don't want this part in your meal.
Yeah, borrow the card for a sec.
Okay, buddy.
And then you take your finger, and when you're done with the onion, you chop off the little tip of your finger there. And then you put it in on the meal.
The perils of
Alright?
having kids at home when you're trying to run a program like this.
Yeah.
Especially cooltish ones.
And then you make sure you have salt, because a lot of people know how to put salt with them fingertips. And that's
And now we're going to slice right across. So you're kind of slanting it, And I rest it on that side, and I do this. The pity you can't smell the aroma coming from these seasonings, the onion and the garlic. Smells so good. A little wash. What washed already, but this is what's cut. Now we don't want to get the seeds in it, so we're going to cut it on the outside. The seeds are in the middle. Seeds will make it too hot. Some people can't take the spice. Alright, so we do it like this, especially if you're doing it for your whole family. Oh, by the way, she has her own channel on YouTube. You should check it out. It's called That Brady Chick. It actually teaches you how to take care of black hair. You should check it out. There are different ways to do this. If you dice it, it actually melts away in the food. When you get home, you don't have a lot of stuff in the house. You can put together a very nice and nutritious meal from what you have. Next step is I'm going to show you how we cut up this chicken. You could cook it whole by just seasoning the whole thing and then put it in the oven. That's a different thing. So we're going to fry it and cook it down. So here we go. You want to aim for the joint. Sometimes what I do is bend it just to see where it is, then cut right through there. Alright. That's a leg and thigh together there. I'm going to put another cut through it here. We want to have many pieces as we can, so we're going to cut this again, right in the joint of the leg. Like this, so you can bend it so you see where the joint is. Safer places on the board always. And remember, we're going to take the wing off and get a little bit of chest on it. And to get to the joint, this is the best way. You put the joint, the other leg, and tie. Leg and tie again. Separate them. Some people take the skin off, but I like to fry it with the skin on it. Actually keeps some moisture in the chicken. Now this is the breast. I like to do it like this. Now this is the back. Some people use this to make soup, but for our purposes today, we're going to cut it across and we're going to fry it down and cook it down just like the rest of the chicken. Now we don't want this big piece of fat, so we're going to remove that. And put that in the garbage over there. Do the same thing over this side. See? Now what we're going to be doing here, we're going to be seasoning this little fellow. The first thing I'm going to do is sprinkle a little bit of black pepper, but it works well for chicken. All-purpose seasoning. Hot pepper, sauce. Now this is not too hot, it's really a sauce. Don't get too frightened by the amount of putting on it. Sometimes that seasoning is not enough, so I put a dash of salt in it. The seasoning that we just cut it. And then we're going to mix it all in together. I finally put the spoon in like this. Turn it sideways when you're taking it out, so it doesn't spill all over the bowl. And make sure every piece is covered with some of that seasoning. I like to taste a little bit of soy sauce with my chicken, so put a little bit. Don't put too much, because when you fry it, because of the sugar content in this, sometimes it creates a black crust that you don't really want. Clean fingers. You want to just touch it. Touch it on your tongue. Tip of your tongue. You can actually taste if it's seasoned. Enough salt and pepper and so on. Alrighty. Already passed the taste test. So we're going to cover this little sucker now. And then leave that fella there for a little while. It's a pity you can't smell it on the video, because it's already nice and it's not yet cooked. Minutes are up and you can have a look. It's been sitting there for 15 minutes, so it's pretty much marinating enough to cook now for this evening's dinner, right? So in addition to this, it's going to be a rice and chicken dinner. So I'll teach you how to do the rice also. This is a quick thing, so by the time your guest comes over, you'll be ready to serve and to impress. This entire meal costs less than $25. You can serve it for a few days. It's serve a family. You'll have $10. And that chicken, that size chicken, whole chicken, actually costs $11. You're going to put enough rice for the pot that you have. You don't want to put too much for a small pot. You see all that water is getting white? And some of it is actually the color of the rice, but you want to get rid of all the impurities. Wash this off. Carefully, don't pour the rice out when you're doing it. So for this amount of rice, I use about a half of this pot of water, that amount of water. And we're going to put it at about 6, get it heated quickly. You want to put enough so that when you put the chicken in, it's covering at least a part of the chicken. That way you get the heat through the chicken better. As you can hear that bubbling sound, it means my pot was already hot, so the oil that I put in there is just getting hotter. Now when oil is really hot, it makes no sound at all. So you might just see looking there calm, pretty much just lies off, no popping. If you sprinkle a little salt in the oil, when you're frying it doesn't splash up so much. And in the meantime, I'm going to be seasoning the water that the rice will be going in. So I'm going to put some salt, not too much, okay? I put about this amount of butter in. Remember, this is running at about numbers at 6 for the time being. This is pretty much good. Drop this in the water. This is a nice flavor. Alright, let's turn this up to speed up things. Let the water get hot and start boiling up. Once it's doing that, and put the rice in. Some people actually put the rice in from now. You could do that. And once it starts bubbling up, you turn it down to minimum. You see how much I'm touching this food? You have to make sure your hands are always clean. Now, this thing is actually a splash guard. So when you're frying stuff, it doesn't splatter all over and burn you up. You want to kind of take the onions and so on off later when you're cooking it down. You don't want it fried in the oil. There you go, don't drop it. heat down the flat. As you can see, the rice is boiling up right now, and I'm at number 9. If I leave it at 9, it's going to burn. I want to bring it down to minimum. Once you have it there, you can just leave it and it will just cook and steam down itself. Don't burn. So we don't want it to burn on one side. Let's turn it over. See that side is almost already brown. But it's not ready to be eaten yet because it's not soaked, right? Take the seasoning off. And now, don't drop it. You want to keep them apart, okay? That way they fry dry. And if you put them too close together, they're pretty much just steamed. I'm telling you. What? I have to be blowing my own horn, maybe. I may taste it myself. It smells good. You say, Margaret?
It does. It does smell good.
That's my girl, man. So we want to turn this one over. That's nice and tender looking, but it's still not fully soaked. So when we're done this, we're going to cook it down with the seasoning. But right now, we just want to give it a nice crisp fry. And we don't want your chicken to burn, so turn it and check, okay? You cover it, it fries faster. And it keeps the steaming. All of that seasoning, you see that onion and stuff and that juice. We're just going to be adding a little bit of ketchup to this. And then we're going to pour it all on top of the chicken and let it cook down for about 10-15 minutes. Nice and delicious. The steaming by itself at minimum. You can just cover it and leave it until it's dry enough. So the steam comes out and the rice is cooked. What I'm going to do here, a little bit of water, a little bit of pepper, maybe even a little piece of coconut. We're going to get rid of this oil, pour it out, completely outside. You turn this off. You can see there's no oil in it, just a little coating in the pan. And we're going to place these pieces in the pot. Now what we're going to do is pour this over here. To the chicken noodle. Well, not necessarily with noodles that much. So now we're going to pour this all out in there. Mix that seasoning that's in the pan. This is what's going to form your gravy. And now we're going to just pour it all over. Now this piece of coconut, you want it to stay in the water to dissolve, okay? And we're going to turn this up a bit. And it cooks. Put it to max so it cooks up fast. The rice is pretty much ready to go. Some people like it to be a little bit drier than this. I like it like this. But some people like it drier, so we just let it stay a little bit more time. With time, sticking up top, you want to get this out. You don't want to serve this. You can see this bubbling up. I want it to be. I'm going to cover it so it steams. Get all those juices into the water from the meat. Get the meat nice and tender. Now that loud and annoying fan is that to get the fumes from the smoke out. Now when it's at this stage, it's okay to go ahead and put it at minimum. When you have it at minimum, you could leave your pot and go on the road and come back. It's not burnt, okay? But if you have it at 1, you're in danger. So this stays this way for about, say, 10-15 minutes, you're ready. So let's say within half an hour we've already cooked our chicken and our rice. Family's now 5:04. Family's coming home shortly. Dinner is ready to go. And you didn't spend a whole lot of money. If you were to buy these meals individually, say 4 people, you're looking at over $40 something. This entire meal costs $21 actually, and it will last you for 2, 3, 4 days.
Or more.
Or even more. This is a more cost-efficient method. Let's use these new skills that you've learned. And you just keep in touch with us. Subscribe, and we're going to be doing all kinds of meals. Build up some of those skill sets. Save yourself some money and elevate your profile. Wrapping up from Hortense's Kitchen. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe and like us. Alright? Peace. Big love. Dad?
So how are you feeling, Dad?
Oh, I'm better than yesterday, sweetheart.
What do you mean?
You know I get better every day.
Okay.
Okay?
Peace and love. Good.
So next time.
Yep, we're working on his outro, but until next time, peace and love.